everyone, it's Sharonda from Payer Waits, and today I'm going to be reviewing Wandavision, which will hit the Disney Plus streaming platform this Friday. The series stars Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, as we blend the style of classic TV sitcoms with the MCU, in which Wanda Maximoff and Vision, two superpower beings living their ideal suburban lives, begin to suspect that everything is not as it seems. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came, I hope you stay. I tell you what I enjoyed about the series, what I didn't like about the series, and is this worth your time watching or not this Friday, as the first 2 episodes will premiere. So just to give you a little bit of background, I want to give a shout out to Disney Plus for hooking your girl up with the first 3 episodes of WandaVision, and just to let you know, these will be 30-minute episodes. This Friday, the first 2 episodes will be premiering, and after that, there will be 1 episode each week. And so, going into what I enjoyed about this is our first Marvel TV show, and you know what, Marvel took a huge gamble with this because the show is so out of this world. It's so different from anything that we've ever been able to see in the MCU. I think that it was a huge ambitious swing that they took, but I think they nailed it. Originally, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was supposed to be the first Marvel TV show to appear on Disney Plus, but due to filming and the schedules and with the ongoing pandemic, WandaVision was the first up. And I have to say, I really had a great time watching WandaVision. And first, I really love that we get to go into this alternate universe because we really don't know what is happening. As I stated, we only received the first 3 episodes, so we get the idea that there is an underlying mystery that it needs to be solved for us to understand where Wanda Maximoff is, and also to help establish the timeline of where we are from Endgame to where we are in WandaVision, which that has not been revealed yet. And also too, this is going to be spoiler free, so don't worry, I'm going to protect everyone's watching and viewing experience. There will be no spoilers in this review, but I really wanted to give props to Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany. They are absolutely fantastic in this series, and I think it's really interesting to be able to see Wanda and Vision not as really these tortured souls that we've seen in the previous films, especially with Wanda dealing with her grief of her brother, and also too, as we saw at the end of Endgame with Vision as well. But to see them be able to portray all of these different characters, because they are referencing a lot of the nostalgic classic television sitcoms throughout the course of this series. And when I say that Elizabeth and Paul, they absolutely nail it, they truly do. And I think as actors, it's very rare to be able to be on a series like this, and especially when it revolves around the MCU, and to be able to show the range that both Paul and Elizabeth have as actors. Paul is absolutely fantastic at comedy, physical comedy. In one of the episodes, he was absolutely the star of the show, but Elizabeth Olsen, they have such great chemistry with one another, and really as she embodies what this ideal housewife will be in her mind, especially as we go through the 50s and the 60s, I just think that she's so fantastic. Also too, I would have to say, Catherine Hein is their nosy neighbor Agnes. I loved her. She is so hilarious. She delivers so much of the comedic lines that happens throughout the course of the episodes, and she is an absolute joy to watch. I was like, normally the nosy neighbor gets on my nerves, but I was like, you know what, where is Agnes? Because I need the tea, and I know that Agnes is going to ask all of the right questions and be just as invasive as I need her to be to get some answers. I also want to give a shout out to Tiana Parrish. We do know that she is Monica Rambeau, but in this series, we're not at that point yet. And I'm interested, I'm very intrigued by her character. We get to see glimpses of her, but I don't feel as though we really get to know who she is in the first 3 episodes. But I'm not worried, because kind of where we leave off, it leaves off in a very great place. And I was like, no, why do I not have any more screeners? It was getting so good. But I'm excited to see what they do with her character. We know that this is going to introduce her character into the MCU, but also too, this will be the transition as she goes into the next Doctor Strange film as well. So I'm very excited to see what Tiana Parrish has to offer in her character in the series. But just for the episodes that I had, in case you guys are wondering why I can't go more in depth, it just wasn't a lot of her character that was developed in those first 3 episodes that we saw. But For those of you who have loved classic TV sitcoms, I felt so validated and seen after watching WandaVision. So when I was growing up, I guess, I don't know if I was a weird child. I haven't met many people like me, but I watched Nick at Night growing up. When I was a young kid, I would watch Dick Van Dyke, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, Mary Tyler Moore. Like, these are the shows that I watched that just gave me all of my life. And it was so validating and to watch how they deal with the nostalgia of classic TV sitcoms. You know, you'll see the references to shows such as I Love Lucy or Bewitched, and many more. I don't want to give everything away, but this is what we've seen from the commercials and the promotional materials that have been put out by Disney Plus. But they do it so beautifully in paying homage to these shows, but also to kind of remaining current in today's society. Now, let me just calm your fears. It's not any SJW. I know people trip over that for some reason, but I think that they beautifully blend what made the 50s television what it was while staying true to that time, but also too while still being relevant to really those gender dynamics that have changed from where we were with television shows in the 50s. And I think that they do it very well. And that's really from a writing standpoint. I really want to give kudos to one of the main writers for this series, and I want to make sure I get Jack Schaefer. I think that she does such a fantastic job with the dialogue. It's very quick, witty, the dialect that they use to really stay true to the times of the television eras that they were in. I just think it's done so beautifully. You can tell that there was a lot of attention to detail displayed with how they wrote it, also too with how they directed the show as well, with Matt Shakman really still giving you that television feel, but you still understand that you're a part of the MCU. And no fear, there are Easter eggs that are going to be laid throughout the course of these episodes. There is some fun nods that we have to characters. That's as much as I'm going to say. High level overview, trying to keep it spoiler free. But MCU fans, there will be a lot of Easter eggs for you to try to figure out in between each episodes. Also too, a little nod to the commercials and the MCU mixed in together. I thought that was very creative and it played off very well on screen. Now, if there's any issues that I do have with the series, it's really from a pacing standpoint and action. Now, the first 3 episodes kept my attention because the nostalgia was strong enough to really keep me invested in what's happening, but also too how they drizzle in the mystery of what is happening to Wanda and what reality we're actually in. I think they do a great job of that. But if you're coming to watch WandaVision for this action-packed show, the characters do use their powers in very creative ways. But if you're looking for an action TV show, this might not be it for you. Now, that's not to say that after the first 3 episodes, that we won't see a little bit more action. We won't see, you know, any conflicts with potential villains. I'm not sure. But I do think that where episode 3 ends off, I think it ends off in a very great place that made me very excited with what's to come. But I just want to make sure that I set the expectations with everyone, that this is a show filled with comedy, that this is a show about the love of Wanda and Vision. And I think for me, mixed in with the TV nostalgia, that's why WandaVision worked for me. It's so nice to be able to actually see these 2 characters really show a different side of themselves than what we were actually able to see throughout the course of the first 3 phases of the MCU. And I'm really excited for what WandaVision has in store for us, but also too, it really makes me even more invested in where we're going with the Marvel TV shows on Disney Plus. So what I would tell you guys to do with you and your time for WandaVision is definitely a watch. Make sure that you watch these episodes as soon as they come out. I'll make sure that I'm also going to be recapping the episodes for you every single Friday. A new recap will drop along with each episode that is released. But I am in love with WandaVision. It gave me all of my life. It was worth all the time, the waiting, the agony of waiting for the Marvel TV shows to debut. I think that Marvel has really knocked this out of the park, and I'm really excited for all of you to watch. So those are my thoughts on WandaVision. As always, my name is Sharona from Pay or Wait. And if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.